Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Monday Night America. Thank you for joining me. Of course, I'm your host, Roger Noriega, and we do apologize for starting off a tad late. Uh, what a shock. Technical issues. So we're trying to get those resolved right now. But it is Thanksgiving week, so we've got quite a bit of stuff that we want to go over. If I can get the technical aspect to work, it'll be great. And if I'm not able to, you're just going to be stuck staring at me again. What a shock, right? Not like you haven't been here before. But I do want to welcome everyone who's watching us live. And of course, later on in the archive, let us know who you are and where you hail from. We'd love to know. Being with us this week, it's Thanksgiving week. So that's really cool. We have a lot of stuff that we're going to be going over right now. So I am a tad frustrated because everything was working, but apparently there was a major upgrade in Microsoft, and they're just screwing with us, I think, with the changes that they made. And sure enough, now I think it's going to be ready to go. What a bunch of bastards. All right, let's see if we can make this go. Yep, there it is, Monday Night America. So that's going to be guiding us as we move forward. This is the program, The World According to Roger, so thank you. Go ahead and leave your comments in the chat room. We have some stuff we're going to go over. Hopefully you enjoy the material. Some of it is just some items that we're going to talk about briefly because they're happening in the world. But hey, it is what it is. And there it is. As you know, Steve Bannon was charged with contempt. I don't know about your comments. He was going to defy Congress at the last minute. He showed up, registered with the FBI. He went home. BFD. This is the way it goes, folks. If you're of means, you're going to be able to get around stuff. Congratulations. But he was a mouse when he was in front of the jury, or the where he was charged. So I forget what it's called right now, but big deal, dude. You talk a big game outside of court, but when you're in court, you're as quiet as a little mouse. Inflation. You've all seen prices. It looks like it's taking off. Now the question is, are we going back to the 1970s? And what is that? Folks, inflation is where an economy is overheated and it's not a good thing. It's when the value of your dollar or the value of what you can have drops and drops exponentially. I do remember interest savings accounts paying 18%. Imagine that. That is unreal. What are they paying now? 0.018 probably. It's disgusting. So there was a little bit of calm in the markets today, but by the end of the day, apparently it did not work. The Powell is going to remain as the Fed director, so we'll see. It's supposedly going to provide calm to the markets. I doubt it, but we'll see. As you know, last week the infrastructure bill was signed into law. It's going to be a lot of money. Actually, it was a week before. Last week, Congress passed the other portion that they were trying to get through. But I don't have all the details because it was just passed by the House. So there's still a lot to go through it because the Senate then has to pass it, which it looks like it's going to happen. Depending on what the Senate does pass, then they have to go into committee, resolve the differences, and then see what happens at that point. You have to forgive me. I was attacked by mosquitoes, apparently. It's pretty bad. Ugh, I got bit real good, so I'm a little frustrated because I'm itchy, for lack of a better word. Got bit real good. It's like, they're all over the place. I got hammered right there. And the bummer is you can't even feel it until the day after. But I have bites there, right here, right there. Oh, so sorry. It's getting on my nerves. But hey, it wasn't all bad. Naomi Pascal was adopted from an Ethiopian orphanage. Her adoptive parents gave her a stuffed bear, teddy bear, who traveled with her for 4 years. Then in October of 2020, Teddy disappeared on a trip to Montana's Glacier National Park. Park ranger Tom Marizzi visited the same trail days later to do some end-of-season work and came across the snow-covered Teddy. A family friend visited the park this September and amazingly spotted Teddy on the dashboard of Mazarizi's truck or pickup, setting the stage for Naomi to be reunited with the bear. Don't know if you heard about this. This was a few days ago. The varsity football team at the California School of the Deaf in Riverside was once considered an easy win for opponents. Now, after 7 straight losing seasons, the Cubs are now not just beating their opponents, they are trouncing them. Last week, they notched an 84-12 win over the Desert Christian Knights in the second round of the playoffs, leaving them 2 games away from capturing their first division championship. The Cubs confound opponents with a rapid, efficient, no-huddle offense. What are they going to say to each other? Oh, that was insensitive, wasn't it? Using hand signals between plays to turn what might be thought of as a deficit into an advantage. They communicate better than any team I've ever coached against, said Desert Christian coach Aaron Williams. Good for them to think that they're disabled, but they're doing well. Good for them, and I'm so happy that they're turning around. There used to be a few teams when I was playing high school ball that we used to beat up. When I was playing some semi-pro ball here in LA, yeah, you couldn't get too confident, but there were teams that we beat up, and it was kind of mean. There were some mercy rule games, especially in high school. Ugh, but we weren't overt jerks about it. I mean, we were high schoolers, but we weren't jerks about it when we beat up on some teams. And in 1984, we set a record for the most runs scored in small schools in CIF play. I don't know if that record has been bested, but we were on a record to break it, and we did. That was in 1984. I wonder if I can look that up on the internet. That would be kind of cool. Let's see. California small schools. I know this is a tangent. Baseball. Uh, what was it? Baseball scoring record in CIF. Let's see, 1984. All-time baseball champions, that showed up. Let me see. No other stuff is showing up. I'll have to do a search. I never thought of searching for this, but we were in small schools. That was my freshman year. We were just beating up on everyone. All-time regular season record set. I'm gonna have to check that one out. See if we can find it. Okay, but that's amateur association stuff. Okay, no, I'm talking about small schools, and we did it in 1984. So, but I'm off base. Manfred Steiner had wanted to become a physicist since he was a teenager in Vienna, where he read about Albert Einstein and Max Planck. He studied medicine instead and eventually moved to the United States, where he had a successful career studying blood and blood disorders. Decades later, the 89-year-old, and forgive me, I'm going to turn this light on. I don't know if it's going to make me look any worse, but whatever. Decades later, the 89-year-old Rhode Island man achieved his goal. Steiner successfully defended his dissertation at Brown University in Providence and was awarded his PhD, despite health problems that could have slowed his studies. This was the most gratifying point in my life to finish it, Steiner said. Congratulations to him. He did in 1989. So he has a doctorate or PhD. So he is Dr. Manfred Steiner. Someone at my place of employment today saw a picture of Jill Biden and mocked that she's a doctor. I don't understand. She has a doctorate. What's the problem? Their hatred for these individuals just knows no bounds. This person is not, well, actually, they are a doctor or PhD in medicine, but what's the problem? I mean, why are you just so pissed off about it? But I don't know. I don't care. I was screwing with them because I was going to have my master's and then my doctorate and legitimate masters and doctorates from a church here in the United States. And to screw with them a few years ago, I was like, am I going to go by Dr. Noriega? Will it be Dr. Roger? Whatever. Oh, some of my coworkers lost their minds. So I'm not going to call you doctor. I'm not asking you to call me doctor. I was still going to have the title. Boy, was it ticking them off. Guys, I'm a senior clerk. Cut it out. Don't be stupid. Don't be a hater. I guess that they just dislike the person. Whatever. Only in America, folks. Some Americans who complied with the vaccination mandates are now seeking ways to undo the shots. They're using baking soda baths, cupping, and other methods to take nanotechnologies out of you, as anti-vaxxer Dr. Carrie Medej puts it. Virologist Dr. Angela Rasmussen said, none of the treatments work, but the trend suggests a lot of those people who previously were saying vaccines are terrible and I will never do it are actually doing it. Only in America. A public library in Denton, Texas has canceled a rainbow story time for children over safety concerns. Library director Jennifer Becker said the books read at the event address accepting kids who are different with no specific mention of sexuality or gender identity, but a deluge of complaints and threats made us concerned for public safety. Mob rule. Only in America. It was a good week, though, for public health, with an Austrian brothel's offer of free sex with a lady of your choice to any customer who takes advantage of its on-site COVID-19 vaccination offer. We have a great vaccination site, said the brothel's owner. It was also a good week for snowflakes, with the unveiling during Dubai's Design Week Festival of the Themis, a lamp-sized device that monitors human speech and sets off an extremely annoying alarm lasting 2 minutes if it hears any racist remarks or offensive jokes. Ugh, that might sound off a little too much here for us, just because we're stupid. Not that we try to be offensive. It was also a good week for theocrats. After retired General Michael Flynn, former President Trump's national security advisor of 3 weeks, but he was also his national security advisor during the campaign, or counselor, was an NSA, but he was an advisor during the campaign and was on the job for 3 weeks. Then it turns out he lied. Not once, but twice. Told a crowd of far-right Reawaken America tour that, quote, if we are going to have one nation under God, which we must, we have to have one religion. He didn't specify which one. Way to go. We got a shout out. Thanks, Ross. Thank you. Now, it was a bad week for legal briefs. After a lawyer trying to enter a Philadelphia courtroom grew frustrated when the metal detector kept rejecting his suspenders. So he stripped down to his underwear. I used poor judgment, Jeffrey Pollock said after being cited for disorderly conduct. Oh, so I guess the attorneys aren't that smart either. It was a bad week for air rage. After United Airlines announced it will resume sales of hard liquor in economy class, despite the ongoing problem of customers becoming violent when told they must wear masks. Yeah, that's not a good recipe. And it was a bad week for law and order after Michigan's Attorney General Dana Nessel apologized for drinking so much at a recent Michigan State football game that she had to be escorted out of the stadium in a wheelchair. The assisted exit was necessary, Nessel explained, so as to prevent me from vomiting on any of my constituents. Ross says government should protect the freedom to participate in a religion, but has absolutely no say in which one you get to participate in. I appreciate that, Ross. Thank you. Appreciate that comment. As you know, it must be true if we've read in the tabloids, right? These are just a few things that happened this past week. A California woman who abruptly went into labor delivered her baby in the front yard, an event captured by her doorbell camera. Emily Johnson and her husband lived just 5 minutes from the hospital, so they didn't rush when her contractions started. But when they finally did head out, Johnson got as far as a car before she realized she wouldn't make it. I'm just like, this is my spot, she said. By the time emergency responders arrived, she'd given birth to a son on her front lawn and had a video to prove it. I just laid back in the grass and took a nice deep breath, Johnson said. But man, do I never want to do that again. It must be true. I read it in the tabloids. A British man is offering an unusual chauffeur service with an armored personnel carrier he calls Tank Taxi. Merlin Bachelor purchased a 15-ton vehicle for 35,000. I imagine it would be pounds. So that's about 40 some thousand in the United States. And restored it. Friends, quote, then friends of friends, and then people I didn't know started asking about rides, he said. Bachelor now makes about 1,000 per job driving people to weddings, funerals, and other events. As you drive along the street, there's so many people smiling, laughing, and pointing. Insuring his armored vehicle, he noted, is cheaper than insuring his Honda Civic. Wow. It must be true. I read it in the tabloids. A Peruvian family's pet dog that angered neighbors by repeatedly killing and eating their ducks, chickens, and guinea pigs turned out to be an Andean fox. Quote, we had thought he was a purebred puppy, said Maribel Sotelo, who bought Run from a small pet shop in Lima, Peru. He initially played well with neighborhood dogs, but became more aggressive as he grew. Run has since run off, and wildlife officials are now looking for him. Ah. I just jumped over from a Zoom webinar hosted by Larry Nemechek in honor of the 25th anniversary of First Contact. Oh, that's right. Today is First Contact, 25th, November 22nd, 1996. Wow. Didn't realize, you know what, I missed that. I would have deferred to that one. Ross, is that one still live? Noted. A New Jersey man was sentenced to 41 months in prison for assaulting a police officer during the January 6th Capitol riot, the longest sentence yet resulting from uprising. Okay, Ross says it'll be up. I'm going to have to check that one out, but thank you, Ross, for stopping by and spending time. Scott Fairlane, a former MMA fighter who was among the first to break into the Capitol, pleaded guilty to punching an officer in his face shield, an act caught on video. And that was from Political.com. It must be noted in the run-up to the 2020 election, at least 13 Trump administration officials violated the Hatch Act, which bars federal employees from using taxpayer resources for partisan political purposes, according to a watchdog report. The result was a taxpayer-funded campaign apparatus within the upper echelons of the executive branch, said the Office of Special Counsel. That's Axios.com. The tight labor market and concerns of COVID risk have created a shortage of Santas. Say it ain't so. Oh, I have a tangent on that. Ross, I haven't had a Christmas tree in a while. I don't know why. I'm sure it's issues with the significant other. She threw a lot of stuff away, whatever. I don't know if you guys have this chain of stores out where you're at, young man, but over here in California, in Los Angeles region, there's a series of stores that are specifically 99 cents only. Everything in the store is 99 cents. That's it. Well, it's changed now. There are items that they charge more, but for 20 years, everything was 99 cents. I kid you not. It was amazing. But it wasn't going to survive forever. But it is something where I walked in. Usually on Monday morning, I take my break from work and I head on over to the 99 cent store. And I purchase like carrots. I used to get the little grape tomatoes and a few things for the week. I'd get bananas and stuff, which I did get bananas. I did also purchase the carrots, but I didn't get tomatoes because of the seeds due to my diverticulitis. Okay, so you know about them. Yeah, it's Dollar Tree here. We have some Dollar Tree here as well, but it's the 99 cent store. Hola, Mr. Nick. Thank you for spending time with us, and thank you for the like. Nick, I've been wanting to reach out to you, and since you're here, I'm going to reach out to you through the NDB Media Administration page. We'd like to have you on the program to talk about your effort, your quad sciences effort. So hopefully we can do that very soon. But I'm going to reach out to you through our NDB Media Forum. So the shortage of Santa is leaving many organizations that run a holiday event scrambling to find bearded men in red suits. Working Santas are raising their rates as high as $200 an hour. And they're so overbooked that some holiday events are being held early. Ross, what are we doing? We should do this. It should be noted about 1,200 American women were hit with criminal charges after a miscarriage from 2005 to 2020, according to data collected by the National Advocates of Pregnant Women. Most of the women were charged with taking illegal recreational drugs. In some cases, falls and miscarriages at home led to arrests. Wow. Fetal assault laws exist in at least 38 states, and that's from BBC.com. Death is sort of an affront to American life. It's so anti-inspirational, said author Zadie Smith, quoted in The Guardian. After repute, oblivion, Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, quoted in the New York Times. Grief and disappointment give rise to anger, anger to envy, envy to malice, and malice to grief again, till the whole circle be completed. Who said that? Philosopher David Hume, quoted in Arts Journal. I was going to say that was something like from The Force Awakens or something like that, because anger, sadness, and all this stuff leads to whatever. But we did get another like. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Folks, if anyone wants to join me, you guys know what to do. Just let me know. You guys have to send me the comment direct. That's all. Every sin is a result of a collaboration. Author Stephen Crane in the Los Angeles Times. Guilt to motherhood is like grapes to wine. Author Ray Felden, quoted in Goodreads.com. The idea that we can enjoy the benefits of society while owing nothing in return is literally infantile. Only children owe nothing. Writer Sebastian Junger, quoted in Vox.com. And finally, I think you guys will know this one. Familiarity breeds contempt. And children. Mark Twain, quoted in the Times UK. I like that one. 27% of Americans say the Supreme Court should overturn Roe v. Wade, while 60% say it should be upheld. 75% of Americans say abortion access should be left to women and their doctors, while 20% say it should be regulated by law. This is from a recent Washington Post / ABC News poll. In another poll, 95% of Democrats believe climate change is a serious problem facing the country, an increase of 11 points over 7 years. Over that period, the percentage of Republicans who see climate change as a serious problem fell by 10 points to 39%. Yet another Washington Post ABC News poll. And these polls are within the last 30 days. So go figure. We have some news in tech. Ross, you probably know about this stuff, but I did like your comment. I refuse to do anything for Christmas until after Thanksgiving. Companies are turning to 3D printers. To 3D printing of replacement parts to skirt the supply chain crisis. That's cool. That's the innovation of the week. Stuart Condy in the Wall Street Journal states that for many industries, a single missing or worn out component can shut down a whole production line, and there's no telling how long importing a crucial part will take these days. Firms that used to count on quickly shipped replacements have been recreating metal parts with 3D printing. Oil giant Chevron was so impressed with the manufacturing specifications produced by Additive Now that it acquired the intellectual property for use on future projects. 3D Metal Forge, a startup backed by Australian energy giant Santos, showed off its production of a 20-inch wrench printed in 10 minutes. Wow. Lawyers under surveillance. Lawyers are some of the earliest guinea pigs for enhanced employee monitoring software, said Drew Harrell in the Washington Post. And some of them worry that if even law firms Oh, darn it. I just got sent a message. I don't even know where it is. Act. Oh, my goodness. Someone sent me a message. So forgive me a moment. Distracted. I finally heard the beeps in the background. So while I do that, uh, and some of them worry that even if law firms that defend workers' rights are turning to the software, why won't every other business? Contract attorneys are typically hired as needed by law firms and often asked to look at sensitive files. All right, all right, all right, all right. What's going on? Oh, Ross sent me a meme. Oh, I like that. Okay, forgive me a moment. I'm going to bring this one over. Check it out, folks. I like that one. I know you're getting excited, but it's still this and this before this. Yes, Ross, thank you. I most wholeheartedly agree. Yes, it should be. It must. I do admit that I was listening to Christmas music today in the car. I don't know why I was looking for it. But working from home, they're now subject to monitoring software that uses a webcam to record their facial movements and surroundings and will send an alert even if the attorney's focus begins to drift. Now, folks, I had to take an insurance exam where the software was so sophisticated, and I know Ross, you definitely know this because you're a technology maven, that because I have two monitors, when I set up the software, the download, so it could check my settings, my setup was illegal because there was a second monitor. Hence, I could not take the test on this computer. That's crazy. And if I looked away from the computer, it would notify that I was looking away. Wow. So I had to keep my eye on my monitor. That's crazy. That is crazy. Several lawyers complained that the software was error prone and would, quote, boot them out of their work if they shifted slightly in their chairs. Probably. Another type of monitoring software, Remote Desk, logged every online activity a worker had done during that day, with each classified as productive and unproductive. You got a blasted machine. The unicorns just keep multiplying. And every time I hear unicorns, I think of Giant Robot. Remember the unicorns from Giant Robot? Ross, you know those. Nicholas Rapp and Jessica Matthews in Fortune stated that in 2015, when Fortune ran a cover story on the proliferation of pre-IPO companies valued at 1 billion or more, the magazine counted 80 around the world. The figure seems quaint today. In the second quarter alone, 136 startups achieved unicorn status, more than in all of 2020. But it was a COVID year. And it's not just VC sloshing money into startups. Hedge funds, mutual funds, and sovereign wealth funds are entering the private market, competing for stakes in the most innovative companies. Tech investors are now often making decisions on tens or hundreds of millions of dollars in funding in a matter of days, maybe even a week. A mapping project at Google with a huge storehouse of data has become an essential tool for climate scientists around the world. Google Earth Engineers offers researchers a vast trove of open source satellite technology or imagery, updated with 20,000 fresh images per day. A team of staff scientists, Google won't say how many, helps translate massive data sets for pro bono clients, including conservation groups, city agencies, community advocates, and researchers. The information has been helping science and advocacy groups track everything from how much water is being consumed field by field in parched regions of the American West to the locations of illegal logging on indigenous land in Peru. Wow, that's amazing. I have to say that I think I'm done. Yeah, with the information I was going to go over. And wow, I did get to the 30-minute mark. Yeah, that's the stuff I was going to get to. Ross has another comment. Sounds like my college student daughter's testing software. It's watching and listening to everything. We can't make a sound while she's testing or she'll get flagged. Yeah, it's crazy. I do want to say that tomorrow we have Fandom Access on. On Wednesday, I'm not sure if we have scheduled programs. I'll have to talk to the others, but we have Travel Talk Radio, which is usually on at 4 o'clock Pacific time on Blog Talk Radio, as is Fandom Access. On Thursday, Travel Edge Radio will not be on air. Friday, I'm not expecting anyone to be on. Saturday, Sports Talk with the Guys will be on. Sunday, we will have Casey Shapiro's Walking Dead program on Blog Talk Radio, on NDB Media, blogtalkradio.com/NDB Media. I should put that one on there. Forgive me. Where's the link for that one? I have to have it. I don't have it? Wow. So anyway, it's blogtalkradio.com/NDB Media. I'm not looking to have a program this Sunday, but the Sunday after, I'm going to be talking about investments, mutual funds, the differences between stock ownership, mutual funds themselves. Maybe I should get rid of this, right? Yeah. And I believe, well, the week after, I'm going to be in Florida with my daughter and Michael Day, which is really fun. We're going to meet up. If he hasn't announced it, well, I guess I did now. We're going to fly on the 10th of December, and we're going to fly back on the 12th. So we're going into Tallahassee, but we're going to cross over to Georgia. So I'm looking forward to that. Gmo is going, and I may have someone else join me as well. So that would be kind of fun. But anyway, that's basically the schedule. On December 5th, I'm going to be talking about the different types of investments. And I'm already working on the episode for the 19th, which we're going to be talking about Social Security, what the new Social Security statement looks like, retirement ready, a fact sheet. We're also going to be talking about how your earnings, if you have earnings that are not covered by Social Security, and how you become eligible for benefits. Because you may not have 40 credits, but you still may qualify for benefits if you get hurt, stuff like that. So there's some good stuff. We're going to be talking about Social Security and retirement. I'm probably going to talk about 401ks, 457s, IRAs, the differences, and Social Security. That one will be on Jedi Tax Online on December 19th. On December 5th, we're going to be doing an investment program. We're going to be talking about the different types of mutual funds and different mutual fund companies. So I'm not going to reach out to the different mutual fund companies because there's hundreds of them. But I'm going to talk about some of the ones that I know and the difference between load, no load, closed-end funds. I believe the other one's called EFT funds. I'm not sure. I don't remember the names right now, but we're going to be talking about investments on the 5th, and then on the 19th, we're going to be talking about Social Security, IRAs, and stuff. So that's generally on the calendar. I don't know if we're going to be doing a sports talk with the guys on December 11th because I'm going to be in Florida. Our flight, well, we'll see. I may do one on Friday. So we'll see what happens. But that's going to be it for now. I knew this program was going to be short. I hope I may do a program later in the week, too. I may do a Trekking Across the Stars. I want to talk about First Contact. That'll be fun. And who knows? Maybe I'll do it on Friday. We'll see. But there's some good stuff out there. I have to do Trekking Across Stars because Discovery has debuted. So I want to talk about that one to Kobayashi Maru. There was an interesting article today talking about the different standards that Michael Burnham has to deal with as opposed to James T. Kirk. And I was put off at first. I thought it was just a sexist tome. And there was more to the article. I may not necessarily agree with it, but it was worth looking into it. And I think that was the exercise. I did get something out of it, and I may want to share that article with you guys. But we're going to do a Trekking Across the Stars within the next week. We'll see what we'll do. And catch up to some of the episodes. Prodigy, of course, Discovery, and celebrate some movies like Generations. I think the anniversary of Generations was November 18th, right? Yeah. Generations November 18th. And then First Contact is November 22nd. That's today. 25th anniversary. That was a fun movie. I do enjoy First Contact. That one was good. I don't know if I've mentioned it to you. Or Ross, you might have been on with us when we were talking about that one, but I know Bobby Nash, when we were talking to him, when Picard is talking to Lily, where she hands the phaser over to him in that moment of trust, and he says, I have so much to show you. And you hear the First Contact theme in the background. It is so epic. It is so awesome. And he begins to describe what her life, and of course that of Zephyr Cochrane, leads to. Can you imagine that? An inventor of something or someone that does something is able to see the fruits of their victory, the fruits of their efforts down the road. Utterly and terribly amazing. That was awesome. And another aspect in First Contact that I really, really enjoyed, which was really high on the drama, was where Picard says, I know what they're doing. They're creating an interplexing beacon. What? It's a means for them to contact their friends in the Delta Quadrant. If they make contact, it's over. The whole battle on the deflector dish, skirmish, whatever you want to call it. Wow. I mean, everything was on the line. That was high drama for that movie. That was great stuff. And I do have to admit, I did also enjoy, excuse me, two moments that I died laughing on is when he's like, oh man, I think we have to abort. Yeah. Those tubes were bird feeders, huh? That's funny. That is cool. I'm gonna have to check that one out. Larry Nemechek's been on with us several times over the years, and I'm glad he did an anniversary program. It's cool. I'm sure people are gonna say, "Well, he was on when you're on." He's Dr. Trek, man. He's very big. So I'm the one that's intruding on his airtime, even though I'm here. But some people get real prickly over that stuff. But where Cochrane is, oh, I think we have to abort. And Jordan's like, oh, we have to abort. He's like, oh, wait a minute. I think I found it. That little odd shaped hexa disc, whatever it was. Let's rock and roll. Ross, I don't know if you've done that driving, but I've done that, or a form of that where it's like, let's do it. Now, I grew up in the Battlestar Galactica era. So the whole idea of accelerating was, going down the Viper tube, the launch tube. So, yeah, we've done Let's Rock and Roll. As a matter of fact, Ross, when I'm driving now, oh, what was that? And the disc player was made out of a car ashtray. Okay. Wow. I'm gonna have to check that out. I am. I'm gonna check it out. That is so cool. Michael and Denise Okuda, as you know, they were artists on It was upside down. Yeah, huh? It was upside down. Wow. Yeah. The Okudagrams, the overlays, the art that he and Denise created was just absolutely impressive. The overlays eventually became known as Okudagrams. And he did it on a Mac, I believe, at the time. And I remember they did a special for the fourth season premiere of the Klingon Civil War, and he talked about in the special on how they did the imaging where Data is discovering the Romulans running the blockade. I remember that. That's cool. I'm gonna have to check that out. Wow, Larry Nemechek. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm gonna have to look at that. Another scene, of course, the rock and roll was awesome at the very end, where Cochrane says, "My God, they're from another world, and they're gonna want to meet the man who flew that starship."
Wow. And then the connection between Picard and Lily, there was a lot more there. It was First Contact, and I guess I'm talking about that movie right now, just by what I know. First Contact is one of my favorite movies, and I saw that movie 4 times on opening day. I saw it around 10 o'clock in the morning on my own, and then it was a 1 o'clock showing. I think I went with my mother. You broke your little ships. Oh my God, we talked about it, Ross, where Picard flips out and he's quoting, if my heart were a cannon, I would impale the whale. She's just looking at what? Moby Dick. Huh? It's from Moby Dick. And her sly smile. Um, I never read it. In the theater, Ross? I'm watching it and I'm like, you beep. It rhymed with witch. I remember I said in the theater, I was like, you wench. Oh my gosh. That was a phenomenal scene. I was creeped out by the preview when Picard was, the line must be drawn here. Oh my goodness, everyone made fun of that preview, but it was well done in the movie. First Contact, yeah. I was talking to someone about First Contact, how there's 3 storylines, possibly 4 storylines. Jammer, Epsicoken. So here it is at Jammer's Reviews. I don't know if he's still writing, but this guy, man, this guy is sharp. Here's the website, folks. I'm going to go back to the screen right here. Jammer's Reviews. Oh, he still is doing reviews. Wow. This is all the stuff that he's reviewed over the years. This is real. Oh my goodness. I've got some stuff I have to read. I had no idea he was doing the reviews on this. Folks, this guy is one of the best reviewers out there, period. Wow. Okay, let's cheat a little bit. Let's go to the Star Trek movies. So I guess this would be Star Trek feature films. First Contact. He gave it 3.5 stars, and he describes his ratings as well, folks. But he does phenomenal reviews. And forgive me, Jammer, I'm going to steal from your information right now, but I'm doing it professionally. I'm stealing your stuff professionally. But I'm giving you play. It's jammersreviews.com, as you can see it up here. He's phenomenal. He's really good at what he does. His quote was, someone once said, don't try to be a great man, just be a man and let history make its own judgments. That's rhetorical nonsense. Who said that? You did 10 years from now. That was good. Now, his nutshell is very good stuff, probably the best of all Trek films, with an evolving story and a skillful, even-handed approach. And he talks about the storylines, and he's one of the ones that states that there's basically like 4 storylines going on, because you have Picard against the Borg, Riker with Cochrane, then you have Data with the Borg Queen, but there's still a 4th one that he mentions. And I meant to come back to this. And okay, here he goes. From here, the story divides into 3 narratives. One involves Picard, Worf, and the Enterprise crew's efforts to contain the Borg from taking over the ship. A second one centers around Data, who is kidnapped by the Borg during the confrontation and taken to the lower decks. Blah, blah, blah. And the Borg Queen. A third follows Riker, Geordi, and Data's attempts to set it to Cochrane's warp flight, to see it, make sure it goes through. But somewhere in here talks about that there's possibly even a 4th storyline, and I'm gonna have to review it to check it out. But folks, this is a wonderful review. You guys should check it out. He really does some awesome reviews. So it's jammersreviews.com. Phenomenal stuff. I have to say that I had not looked at his website, and obviously I haven't received his emails in a while. I had no idea he was reviewing the others. He's doing a review of Orville. Oh man, okay, I gotta jump ahead and see what he's Identity 1 and Identity 2. He gave it 3.5 stars for part 1,
but 3 stars for part 2. He really did like Sanctuary, 3.5. The Road Not Taken, he gave it 3 stars. He does some wonderful reviews, full of insight. I was very disappointed in this review. It is one of my favorite episodes, Carbon Creek. He gave it a 1.5. Very disappointed with that one. But I respect his opinion. And yeah, he should be paid for these reviews. He's that good at what he does. I stopped doing reviews when I discovered this guy. Ross says, our Star Trek club took over the local theater for First Contact. We built a 3-foot Borg cube and suspended it from the ceiling, surrounded by all the model starships we could find, around 30. We also built a Borg alcove and a Federation commuter console. Wow. Ross, if you have pictures next time you join us, that would be great. But he's tough on this episode. I was disappointed by it, but I still respect his opinion. May not agree with it, but I do respect it. The guy is fair, and his reviews are really good. You want to get lost reading some good stuff? This is it. And he's doing Lower Decks. Oh my goodness, he's doing Lower Decks. Aw, no small parts. He only gave it a 3. Aww. Damn it. Come on, Jammer. Jamal Epsikokin, really good at what he does. He really is. Oh, man. Tad disappointed. What's he do with Discovery? What has he done on season 3? That Hope Is You, part 1. He gave it a 2.5. Die Trying, when they get to when they arrive at Starfleet headquarters, give it a 3.5. Oh, he's rough on Discovery. Oh, all right. I thought so. I really enjoyed, but he makes a good argument as to why he gives it a 1.5 stars. Again, I don't like it, but folks, check it out. Jammer's Reviews, really good stuff. It is jammersreviews.com. It's really good stuff right there. So, big sidetrack. I got to do a Trekking Across the Stars. There's a lot to talk about. So, probably going to do it this week. We'll see. Who knows? I might even do it Saturday. Or no, Sunday. But all right. In the meantime, folks, I want to thank everyone for joining me. We're all over the place on this one, but it's a lot of fun. I thank you for visiting, both live and in the archive. Ross, seriously, thanks for the commentary. It helps for the program to move forward. I do appreciate you a great deal. You've been on with us in the past, and you're sharing your comments. It means a great deal to me. Thank you, young man. It means a lot. I love your stories. We got to have you back on it. Just shoot the stuff. Stop it. I'm the one that talks too much. That's why I'm here alone. Ooh, Star Trek Picard. Ooh, he's rough on Picard. The Impossible Box got 3.5. Nepenthe got 3.5. Yeah, he can be rough. He's also doing The Mandalorian. Oh, he probably blew The Mandalorian. Oh, actually, no. Redemption got a 3.5. The Marshal, that's a good episode. 3.5. The Heiress, yeah, 3.5. He gave the Jedi a 4. And the Tragedy gave it a 4. And the Rescue. Yeah, I can see that one. You know what happened there. Wow. I'm going to check out some others. What's he doing with Prodigy? Okay, he's behind on those. Okay. Star Wars feature films. That's interesting. A New Hope. Yeah. Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. Return of the Jedi. Oh, he doesn't like the Phantom Menace. Attack of the Clones. Yeah. Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. Force Awakens. Gave it a 3.5. Bastard. Rogue One. A 3. That's it. Oh, come on. Last Jedi. Wow. 3.5. And he gave Solo, the Star Wars story, a 2.5. And a 2.5 for The Rise of Skywalker.
I have to read that review. Oh, it's a long review. Oh, I gotta check it out. But I have to do all the reviews for Star Wars. There it is, folks. Gemmersreviews.com. There are a lot of good people that do reviews, but let me tell you, this guy is sharp. So, at this point, folks, we're going to go ahead and call it. I want to thank everyone for joining me, and we'll be doing some more episodes over the week. So, it is Thanksgiving holiday. Ross, thank you. Everyone else watching, thank you guys. Appreciate it. And I got some stories. I've been doing some homework. And I'm not going to be doing necessarily some paranormal stuff, but I'm going to do Indiana Jones and Nazis, in that they went after the occult items. That I'm looking at going after. I've always had a love of that stuff. My wife at the time, when Men in Black came out, she thought, "Oh, that's a new creative concept." I'm like, nope. Men in Black have been around since the 1940s, I believe. And I whipped out one of my Time Life books, and it had a picture of the Men in Black, and I opened it up to her and said, "No, babe, Men in Black have been around for a long time." I think I'm going to start off by talking about Men in Black and stuff. So, yes! Okay, he just lost all his credibility. Force Awakens better than Rogue One? He did give it a 3.5. I love Rogue One. You and I see eye to eye on that one, Ross. Ugh. But read them. Read I'm going to read as Rogue One. And there are faults in the movie, folks. There are faults in Rogue. It's not perfect. But, wow. I don't get tired of it. And I do get emotional when the Rebel fleet shows up. It is a big deal for me. I love it when the Rebel fleet shows up and then Blue Squadron heads for the deck. Exciting stuff. And the loss of everyone just absolutely eats me alive. I am one with the Force, and the Force is one with me. I am one with the Force, and the Force is one with me. But be that as it may, we'll talk some more. Folks, peace and long life. We'll see you guys on the other side. Appreciate it, guys. Hasta.